Hello again, friends. My name is Dennis. Welcome to another video filled with some of the most amazing vintage vinyl records ever offered in the Wichita area. Many of you may recall we recently purchased the most monstrous collection of what I'm calling time capsule LPs. Now, these were locked away in storage for more than 40 years. These are records that many of which look as if they were printed yesterday. Imagine records that are 40 to 60 years old that look like they're brand new. Now, we put a couple of thousand of these out at a recent sale, but unfortunately we made the mistake of letting the word get out to the public, and for all 3 days we were absolutely mobbed with new faces all clamoring to grab up some of these treasures. It was total chaos. We had nearly 900 people attend, and hundreds more that, well, they just couldn't find a parking space within 3 blocks, and those that did discovered they couldn't even get in the front door. Now, we won't make that mistake again. We are, however, planning to have a sale this weekend, Friday evening, all day Saturday and Sunday, and only this time we will not be advertising the sale in the newspaper or on radio or TV. At this sale, we're only inviting our existing customers by email and Facebook. While we may have a good turnout, I doubt you'll have to shove or push your way in this time. In order for us to sell the remaining bulk of this time capsule collection, well, we would have to divide it into 10 different smaller sales if we held our little building. So instead, we've decided to rent a large ballroom at a local hotel. That way we can put out all of the records at once and invite everyone in the city to attend. Now, I started selling vintage vinyl in 1971 at the old Village Flea Market. We had 4 booths filled with vintage vinyl records, and we did very well there for several years. But in 1974, I opened my first retail record store selling used vinyl at 2206 East Douglas. That's directly across the street from East High School. In 1977, I began hosting and promoting vinyl record conventions all across the U.S. in major cities such as Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Phoenix. While I was by no means the only promoter doing this at the time, I was by far the most successful. Our record conventions typically attracted crowds as large as 6,000 to 10,000 people over 3 days. Every dealer that had a booth with me completely sold out. We had a waiting list of dealers wanting to have booths a mile long. In the late 80s, when CDs were first introduced, interest in vinyl records dropped like a rock. There was a time when you even couldn't hardly give away a vinyl record. At that time, well, I had to give up hosting record conventions, and my son, Alan, my wife, Dottie, and myself went on to open and operate a multitude of small businesses in the Wichita area. In the last 45 years, we've launched more than 45 different startup businesses, all of which were successes to some degree right out of the gate. Now, in 2007, I retired, and I pretty quickly got bored of that. Now I'm spending my time once again in the vintage vinyl record business. So it occurred to me that if I have to rent a hotel ballroom in order to sell this huge collection of time capsule LPs, why not just rent a ballroom 3 times as large and invite any and every dealer of vinyl, new or used, and those who provide other products or services related to vinyl records to set up with me in sort of a record convention show and sale. So soon we will be having our first event since it's probably been 30 years since I've had. Now, I've decided to allow local dealers, collectors, and vinyl enthusiasts to set up a show with me absolutely free of charge to market their goods and services to the many thousands of attendees that I hope to be able to bring in. Now, of course, booths will be limited to space available and first come, first serve. This collection is important enough to attract buyers from national record store chains such as Amoeba Records out of Los Angeles and San Francisco, and we hope to see the buyers from Sam Goody's. Of course, they have hundreds of locations across the nation. The word must have gotten out about the importance of this collection because I'm getting emails and texts and phone calls from dealers on both coasts, and I just got one this morning from Chicago, another one from Atlanta. They're all wanting to know the exact dates of our next sale so they can, too, plan to fly out and attend our sale. Now, this should be one heck of a show. We will be giving away booths to retail store owners of vinyl records, those who sell on eBay or Discogs, flea market vendors, people who market their vinyl records at antique malls, people who sell from their garage or their bedroom, as well as hip pocket dealers. We will even be offering smaller, what we're going to call collector booths, for individuals that may just want to thin out their collection of records they no longer need or want. This will be a great opportunity for Kansas area collectors and dealers to meet with and market their goods to some real heavy hitters with fat wallets coming in from out of state. When I first started offering records to the public in Wichita about 8 months ago, I didn't consider at the time how my sales may impact that of other vendors of vinyl records. In reality, I'm sure I've created a great deal of interest with new collectors, many of whom are buying their very first vinyl records in more than 30 years, and others who are buying their very first vinyl records for the very first time in their lives. I firmly believe that if my competitors were to compare their annual sales before I started selling here recently to the year following, they'd quickly discover that actually their sales have increased rather than decreased, as I think they mistakenly believe. All of the advertising and promotion that I pay for benefits everyone that markets vintage vinyl records in the Wichita area, especially considering that I'm only open a few days a month at best. It's for this reason I feel like I must extend the olive branch to all other vinyl vendors in the area. Even the ones that don't like me or resent me are welcome too. Some of them often post derogatory comments about me online. Well, all is forgiven and I harbor no ill will. I welcome every one of you to join in on the fun, and I'll pay all the expenses. This record convention show and sale is still a project in the works. Even though we hope to have it soon, we have not finalized the dates or the location yet. Drop me a line if you want to set up with us. In the meantime, we will continue to have our weekend record sales at our little building, but this time with far fewer attendees. Now, at this weekend sale, we will be offering thousands of great records that you've never seen before at great prices. One change we have made is that we will no longer be discounting our record prices off of an inflated retail price sticker. Instead, all records will now be priced at exactly what you pay. In addition to the thousands of new records we'll have at this sale, I'm pulling out and including 1,000 additional records from our time capsule collection. But don't worry, we'll still have plenty left for the convention. Now, also included in this weekend sale is an amazing collection of Beatles bootleg LPs dating clear back to 1963. Many of these records were created from the original studio recordings in which the Beatles may have recorded one of their hit songs 4, 5, 6 times before selecting a version they liked best that would appear later on their regular albums. The earlier unused takes were supposed to be destroyed. However, somehow, some way, these cutting room floor takes found their way into the underground of bootleggers. Be sure to watch our other video titled Beatle Bootlegs. Now, some of these recordings are astoundingly good quality, and many of the covers were designed and created as spoofs of the real Beatles albums, and they're absolutely hysterical. Now, I want to also take this time to thank the hundreds of you that sent me texts, emails, wishing my wife Dottie well after her terrifying car accident last week. I'm pleased to report she's doing much better, and we hope she'll make a full recovery very soon. Right now, she's hobbling around, but she still comes to work every day, and she's helping us prepare for the next sale. Thank you again, and I hope to see you this weekend.